I know that they're going to put in that ruby pipeline, and I know they make a lot of noise about, you know, no harm, no foul, right? And I think that maybe that Jesus technology to fight Geronimo's war, it might be perfect. To give them beauty for ashes, to give them life for their death, and give them love for their hatred. And to let those children yourselves find your way to these seeds and to these planting back ways, so that your answer would be some beautiful good news. Doesn't the world need that now? And don't those children need to be the ones to deliver it? And wouldn't it make this community proud if they were the ones that brought that forward? It would break my heart with joy. So that's what I come for. I'm come pleading to you. Everybody says, oh, don't let the kids read that book, but maybe they ought to. Because you know it's hard. But you know what I found even harder was behind the Boys and Girls Club there, that nightmare of a Halloween show of that old jailhouse. And that fence leaning out there so gently and the chain link to embrace it right there behind them, you know. And I wonder about psychic warfare. And I wonder if we can change their focus from such a nightmare and a bad dream and maybe turn their eyes to something that was old and hopeful and life-giving. I have to think about those things a long time. I'm not sure how to speak about it. I'm speaking now, not having had time to think about it. Those are only my first impulses as I looked at that picture. These children here that are with me, you know, they're like everybody else that comes with me. If you don't have your own self-interest in this thing, I probably don't want anything much to do with you. If you're not my friend rewilding, I'm going to maintain my boundaries. I don't want you as a friend, because if you can't hear the cry of my mother and make that more important than your personal dramas and the fight the white man gave you here to fight in your divisive against each other, if you can't see beyond that to hear the cry of a mother, to answer with a good, life-giving thing that will strengthen the lives of your children, then I probably don't want to be a friend. You're doing something deliberately and you want to excuse yourself in some victimization, and it's all BS. I don't need a drunk. I sit down there behind that sign of sobriety, watching a community drunk on lies. I don't know how to address it. But drunkenness on lies and no substance is not sobriety. And if you can't turn around and hear your mother's cry to plant these things abundant again so that your children would have them, then I'm not fooled. I think you're drunk worse than all the drunks. So me and Chile, you know, we thought nothing better than to sit there behind that sign and drink a beer and, you know, maybe honor their sobriety. It seemed like such drunkenness to me. There were so many things that probably could be said and should be said, but they're so hard I don't think that I would be capable of it. I'm trying to walk in a good way. I'm trying to come with good news and say good things. All these bad things we do, we see and know already. I want to drop it and leave it behind. And it would be easy to do if we could only pick it up and plant that place down there where we dance for the pine nuts into a beautiful garden. Seda has visions like that of food forests for the children forever, and having them plant them and having those things heal us. And that's what I hope for. So even without permission, you know, I go around on reservation land, not just your own, on federal land and not just your own. And I plant back without permission. I just do it. And maybe those plums will grow there, and those children dancing a nice plum song, a nice pinyon song would be eating plums while they do it. I know that all these sweet things were deliberately taken away from the people here because they were being punished for enjoying them, and the people like Schurz, you know, the man that was here doing those things, would take those things deliberately away to starve you of your sweet things. Sorry I never bought dog shit, you know. I thought maybe if I was really sorry I should do something about undoing the damage and planting back not only these plants, but these old ideas that mean so much, and help you empower yourselves against this onslaught against your home. I know the track of that snake monster that goes up behind that Grant Mountain. I know how it is planted so full of food all the way to Monoland. I know it means our help to stay abundant. And so I would like to take everybody up there who would be interested. I'm a nigger tranny with a losing hand in every community I go. I cannot approach those children, you know, they all say keep those kids away from them. So I need you to pick these things up so that you can take them to your children, because God knows you don't want me to. But if you don't do it as well, then nothing happens and I can't have it. A lot of people despise things, you know, maybe just because Jesus said it. Jesus said for me a long time ago, if you want to be a child of God, you don't want to be these people's friend. You want to be their outcast. I looked at the world around me, how they did, and I had to agree. Jesus, he said to me, what? You'd have to be born again. And looking at how I was raised in this culture that was against all living things, I understood. I had to be childlike again so I could come to people like yourselves that they could teach me a new way. I had to be born again like a child. A lot of people are offended. Jesus might say there is only one way, and I looked around the world and I see all those other things caught in the culture of death all one way. And only this thing, the only other way, and this was the way to life, and that was the way to death, and I didn't care that Jesus said it, it was still true. And you know, so that's what I did. I began to follow that thing. I thought there was a religion that was what Jesus had, and then I saw that there was a religion they made about him, and they weren't the same one. I find that with native traditions as well, where these beautiful things of planting back just a pinch of seed for every dig, every root we dig, just a pinch of seed for that dig. That pinch of seed replaced by a ceremony of tobacco that loses its significance and meaning in a tradition of mystical symbols rather than the simple life-giving thing of giving back the very thing that gave to you. That's why I have these kids here. That's why these roots are here. You've been moving them around. I need help because I can't go to the places you can go to. I don't even try. Instead, I try for you and your heart. And these here breadsticks here have been feeding me for a long time. For many years, I've been sitting outside of your sacred ceremonies, listening to your round dance songs and hearing English automatopoeias, crazy things. You know, sacred songs that have their own meaning in your own language. I hear a vibration of some English word. And I don't hear what you're singing, only from a distance I hear, BLM, you act so annoying. Now, you know, annoying is the anodia. Anodia. But I didn't know the words, only I heard those sounds. And so I laughed like crazy at a crazy automatopoeic coyote song. And then when you guys disappear like a coyote, I sneak down there on top of your sacred dance and I fish out of the fire pit what cones and seeds are left, you know, to dumpster dive you. But I'm not doing it that way anymore. Friends of mine ask me to come out of hiding now and do these things openly I've been doing secretly forever. And I was afraid that to do such a thing I would have to forfeit my life. And it took me some time to get over my fear and my sympathy for the flesh. It took the Spirit doing things for me that I couldn't do myself because of my own sympathy for the flesh. And so, you know, it happened that way. I'm grateful, but it's been a hard journey. I pray for all those who love the Mother enough to plant back. I pray for all those who love the Spirit enough to do these things. Because surely in this world you'll find opposition. But I don't think you'll find it from the place you thought. I think if the feds had some way to shut me up and shut me down, they would have long ago. I'm here to testify to you this thing is open to you, and it is how you would empower yourselves politically. It's how you can reclaim yourself spiritually. If we were truly to repair our relationship with the truth, the first thing we would do is stop lying. And in our stop lying to ourselves even, we would see that our relationship with our Mother might be exploitation, abuse, or neglect only. And in that relationship repaired with the truth, the next step would naturally be in knowing how to roll, to begin to repair our relationship with these things. And make them abundant so we can repair our relationship with the 7 generations who we've robbed, leaving nothing but shit, bones, and ashes and calling it love. No wonder they're angry at us. I wonder why they don't cut our heads off daily. So I thought maybe Rabbit Woman had more wisdom than me. And maybe that little purple couch that's so shallow that children can dig easy to learn it. Maybe had more wisdom than me. And I didn't know of a teacher better than this, but then I found out that people did not know how to listen. They did not know how to listen to this. They needed a voice. Also, they have found themselves to be refugees without wings or legs. Everywhere they grow, they're in peril, and there's nothing I can do to stop the encroachment of those developments. All I can do is chase after these mining claims and pull out the Bitterroot and maybe find them a home in Tukima, and I need help. To find sacred places for these things that are refugees, I need legs and wings to carry them. And I'm appealing to you not for myself, but for these things. These are refugees, and if you don't give them hope, they have none. My friends came to prepare a meal, a simple meal that's 40,000 years old and raw. Old biscuits, you know, Grandma. These things mean more to me. That's all I had to say about it. And if I could have that camera, and if you would please come up here and you could do some presentation. I know you're sweeter than me.